the right way.
Here we are. Here we are.
Is it that David Mike does it too?
Here we are. Yeah. Well, just
Yeah.
the.
HSG
I'll go live.
way.
Account.
Yep.
I'll go live in like some seconds, and then I just hit the buttons, and it's fine. We're here. We're here
Yeah.
on the internet.
It all works. It all works.
This is. I'm sure everyone loves watching this at the beginning of every episode of a High Shelf Gaming stream.
I will say though that it looks like Xenon and Kira are switched.
That is. Yep.
Oh.
How'd that happen?
All good.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
look at
that's
that.
fixed now.
Look at that.
Look at that. I can just do it. I can just drag it. That was the best update Zoom ever implemented in the history of their service, is just drag the little squares around.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Dave, tell us things.
So, the things that we got to talk about right now. This is HSG. We do
The
actual
energy's right.
plays. Yeah, we do actual plays of RPGs. Tonight is AGON by John Harper, Sean Nittner. We're getting to play with the compendium thing tonight, which is a really cool module they put into Roll20.
Yeah.
And
So
is it
if you guys want to look at the rules, you can now reference those.
Really?
I'm no longer the sole keeper. I'm pretty sure on the Roll20 you can just like click on the
Oh yeah, hit read me. Smokes.
like there's a readme and there's like other stuff in there. Let's see what all. Islands, rules, special indexes. If you click on
Ooh,
the
you
little
need
eye
to
thing.
allow me to see that.
Oh, I do. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No
never
rules
mind.
for me. I just got to ask
You don't
you
get
to
to see-
arbitrate everything.
I kind of prefer this method because then I'm not responsible for any actual gameplay knowledge.
That's fair.
I mean,
That's
don't make me
just
learn
guess.
anything.
True
Come on.
facts.
And then Ethan's like, yes or no.
right. That's perfect,
True
really.
facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have that. We have access to that, and it's lovely.
So good. So good. So yeah, and the other stuff that we're up to is we have some really fun sessions coming up this coming week. Monday night's Shadowrun is postponed. We're gonna wait.
Shadowrun is on hiatus for now.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna table that one until inspirations and things
We'll
and
figure it
things
out.
align. Yep. And then on Wednesday is going to be Red Market starting. Or
I think we may still end up having another session of us
you and I
kind
need
of
to have a big
stumbling
discussion.
around the rule book. Yes,
Okay.
we do.
We need to figure some shit
Character
out.
creation part 2.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult, David.
There's a session there's a session 0, and then there's a session 0.5, and then there's a session 2.5 where you go back and rewrite some shit, and then session 1.
Yep.
There's a lot of rules, folks. That's
There's
so
some, you know,
There's
I
a
mean, you
lore.
just
we're
toss
not
some
we're not
numbers.
afraid.
Just
We're not
toss
afraid
some
of-
numbers.
It's true.
On the page.
I need to
Put some numbers and roll them, and if your
Yep.
character sucks, you just die and you make a new one. It's great.
That's true. That's you know what? That is very fair. And this is a world where new characters can happen.
Yeah.
and are going to.
You have like a 35% chance of success if you just roll the dice, like
Yeah.
on any given thing. That's if
Yeah,
you have
I
points
do
of the
still
skill.
feel obligated to be like, make it not the thing where like, haha, you never checked a box, therefore your character just got killed. So it's
Right.
like
Right.
still
Yeah.
trying to like do that, but
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
so
No, nobody
we've-
took a silencer, huh? Yeah, keep firing the guns. We'll see what happens.
Keep
Go around the
shooting.
corner.
My
Lovely.
silencer. No, I already had a silenced pistol, but I was like, can I go bigger? Silenced rifle, baby. Yeah.
You want to spend like 5 billion bounty every time we finish a mission.
5 billion. Perfect.
Perfect.
That's the
Let
right
me up
number.
with the gear. Let me up with the gear. That doesn't cost anything in this game. It's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, we have that to look forward to. And then on Friday night, we are going to have the good folks from Legend Keeper, Braden, on. And we're going to talk about world building with Legend Keeper again. He's got a big update coming called Hydra. And we're going to talk about some Legend Keeper stuff. We're going to talk about some world building stuff. And so that will happen Friday night. And Saturday, I want to see, we have a one-shot opportunity on Saturday. And Casey has been teasing a Cyberpunk one-shot. I want to see if he wants to do that on Saturday.
Yeah,
It's kind of a meme game, right?
it is. Yeah.
It's going to be good, though.
It is,
It's going to be real
yes.
good. and the window on when that is still appropriate to do
It's-
is rapidly closing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
We kind of need to do it now if we're gonna do it. Otherwise, be like, really referencing that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like an old SNL episode.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It's like current SNL episodes. Really? You're referencing that?
Strange. So yeah, we got some fun stuff coming up, and then we're gonna start up a Red Markets game and a whole bunch of other stuff in coming weeks. And I'm getting closer to getting ready to do my game of Cyberpunk. I want to do one more one shot of just something else entirely different. But yeah, we're getting really close to launching some cool shit.
And then it's still a little bit out, but Mayday coming up?
Yes. May 1st, we are going to be doing our annual. Now we're doing it twice, so it's now
That's
tradition.
annual, yep.
We're doing our annual May Day charity drive, which May Day is a Traveler RPG reference. May 1st, May Day, we run a game. Patrick Knaus comes on from Two Brothers Gaming. He runs a Traveler game. We do a big charity drive in partnership with the Carcinoid Foundation, which is a form of cancer. And we have a bunch of cool giveaways coming up. We have some Wormwood Gaming type stuff. We have some stuff from a couple other vendors coming up. Hey, what's up, Dead Man? So yeah, we've got that charity drive on May 1st, and we're going to be doing a ton of giveaways, raising money for Nets, which is going to be really awesome and wonderful. And we do it every year now. Rich shows up, Patrick shows up. It's a riot. It's always good times. So
is Patrick the latest victim of your inability to pronounce your friends' last names, David?
Oh, rude.
It's true.
Rude call out, Ethan.
It's true. It's true. It's so true.
I caught
and
it.
Like
and I was like, another one. We just add
and,
another one.
and yeah, and nameology is not my forte. Is the way
That's a very real science.
Yeah,
The
it is a very
nameology.
real science, and I have fucked it up so many times to people on this stream, even not just friends that I've had for decades, but like people who are actively hanging out with me right now.
Look, it's not your fault. It's English's fault. Because we just
Sure.
English is just like the refuse pile of every other language on the planet, really. Like, just all the words from all the languages get tossed in a blender, and then you figure out like what goes on.
Yes. All right. Yeah. You know what? I'll take that. I don't know that really assuages anybody's feelings about me mispronouncing their name for 10 years. But
I mean, I feel if it's coming from the linguist PhD, then you can kind of like take that home. You can take
And
that
be
to
like,
the
hey,
bank. You know?
my buddy who's a linguist says.
He says it's all good.
He's a doctor of
Yeah.
Not
He
yet.
says
No,
you
no,
don't
no,
need
no.
to be
I've not
offended
written that yet.
because
Yeah. It's like saying my mom says I'm perfect. So
My mom says I'm a very special boy, and
yes.
that I can't do anything wrong in the world. So
That's right. All right. So yeah, let's get into the world of Agon. Let's
Yes.
we just left the Isle of the Dead.
Akoros, yes.
Akoros.
Which is familiar. That's the good meme island.
Yeah.
The reference.
Yeah, for Blades in the Dark, which we played a years long campaign with Blades in the Dark.
Blades in the Dark.
What a good game.
And yeah, that was fantastic. And I'm really glad that we got to go to the Akoros and see all their references to their other product.
I wasn't gonna let that one slip by. That's
No, yeah,
absolutely not.
And we're still in the medium islands. Are there like deeper islands?
So the way they did it is there are like 12 islands in the book. So there's 6 that are like your starter islands. They're pretty straightforward. There's 6 further islands that are kind of like for the rest of the campaign.
Got
But
it.
then they had some collaborators write islands as well. And there's a document with like 6 of those. So those aren't like included in the main book, but I think they might be included in the Roll20 module, which is kind of kick-ass.
That's awesome.
So I'm looking through those as well because there's a couple really fun ones, but some of those are better. Some of those to me would be more fun as like one shots for like fun stuff. But
Okay.
But yeah, so we have maybe 2 islands left, I think,
Wow.
because I know what I want to end on, and I think probably like one more island will get us pretty close
Okay.
to where we want to be there.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's yep. We just left the island of Akoros, so we have to do all of our bookkeeping when we leave an island. We have to record in the annals of legend. It's all the stuff you did, even when you mess up. I think that all goes in. Because if you know anything about Greek myths, it's that people mess up a lot.
Yeah, and that's like part of the juice for a Greek
It's part
myth.
of the juice. But yes, so the first thing we have to do, we did virtues and great deeds last time, so we don't have to worry about that. But we do have to do the fate of the island, which this one's a bit simpler than some previous islands. You guys, let's see, let's try to think of what all happened. So you guys got all the dead, except for one, back into the underworld where they're supposed to be. There was that one that escaped the shade of Kalabos, I think. Yeah, Kalabos, the like war.
The bloodthirsty
warlord. Yeah. Orphany is back doing her job. Everything's cool. She's got the blue flame. And the necromancer Erastos was vanquished and sent back to where he probably should have been already, in the underworld, because he did the lich thing, and that's not typically very good for a person. And that's pretty much it, right? As far as like the consequences on the island. I don't think there were really any other like lasting effects. So it now sits empty, which is not always a bad thing. Not always a bad thing. So we have I'll type this up with the aid of the heroes. The shades of Akoros were returned.
We got some cool gear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You did it. So you all met with an avatar, perhaps, of Hephaestus or something of that nature. He didn't really show up in his regular shape because your like eyes would explode or something. I don't know. It's not good. You're not supposed to see that. But he showed up and he decided to make you guys some new toys because he was the only one who could do it right. And also, you know, he's sorry for being so mad. Maybe. Well, not really sorry, but just go ahead.
Just that damn cool.
Yeah, you're just cool. You did a good job. It's fine. Orphany returned to her position as Torchbearer of Hades. You guys also did see Hades. You didn't see Hades, but Hades was there. And Makaria got to kind of argue with her stepdad in a very nostalgic moment.
His presence was known.
But Dad...
Yes.
And the necromancer Erastos was vanquished. Okay, that looks good to me. Is this appearing appropriate? It is appearing appropriately on the stream. That's so nice. It's so nice of it to do that. The next island likely will not. We'll get into some trouble on further islands. But okay, so we have the destiny of the island pretty simple this time. We don't have a full book. We don't have 16 characters to epilogue for this island, just like the 3. We've recorded your great deeds, your virtues. You've received your star metal weapons from Hephaestus, which questionable decision on his part, probably, as star metal weapons are said to be able to injure the gods themselves. But you know,
we would never do that. We're
never.
You know,
mostly
mostly.
One of us.
Hilarion is a pious man, a man of the gods. I would never.
Yeah.
One of us is not a demigod, so we kind of have to have eyes on him.
Oh, he's still good. Yes.
You never
definitely,
know.
Definitely keep your eyes on Phaedros. He's definitely the one to
Patricide
worry
has never happened in the history of Greek mythology. Patricide, matricide, none of that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Cronus just got in Tartarus on his own.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Just jumped on and down there.
It was fine. So that we have our great deeds, we have our virtues, so that brings us to the reflection portion, where you guys all have a little sit and you think about your epithets and you decide if you want to change them. And now several of you have more than one, and so one of them might have changed. You have multiple ones to think about. does anyone feel they may need to change their epithet? Does not match with their deeds.
Pretty happy with what I've got.
I'm good.
Excellent. Okay.
I don't think I'm changing anything.
Yeah, Larion remains boulder-like in all things.
It's true.
But so that finishes our Exodus phase. We are like 15 minutes in, and we're done with the whole step. That's great. So now we're at the Voyage, though. So, the Voyage, as we all know, begins with the Fellowship phase, where you get to get rid of all that pathos that you marked on this island, because there's probably a good bit of it. But you do that at the end. You have to wait. No, you gotta wait.
Fuck,
You gotta talk to. You gotta talk to each other first. You have to
Damn it.
communicate. You have to communicate with your team.
I was sitting there clicking buttons, and it's just too eager.
Yeah, and so here you all are at sea, as is normal. The mists have kind of gathered around your ship once more, and it is dinner time. Having dinner, the crew. You're all sitting around under the stars, the ones that you can see at the moment. That path of stardust that kind of leads you around, while it currently is not really leading anywhere, the sky is brighter, and it gets brighter every time you leave an island. As you continue to add to these constellations, and your deeds continue to be recorded. The gods kind of give you some hints about, like, hey, you're doing a good job. Maybe you get to go home soon. But maybe you never go home.
That punch-out clock, it's ticking down.
It's ticking.
You'll get to go home soon.
You'll get
Don't
there
worry about it.
eventually. Yeah.
The whistle will blow, and don't unionize. We don't like that.
It's a long time.
Wow.
But eventually, Hilarion is going to get angry.
Hmm.
So that's what we got to do to get Hilarion to say something against the gods. Is just like keep him on task for too long.
keep yanking his chain. But here we are in the Fellowship phase, where you all as heroes relax and enjoy each other's company. And everyone gets to ask a question to another hero, and you all gain bonds with each other as a result. And kind of like we normally do, we're going to kind of try to remove ourselves from the ship is at sea during these questions, during their responses, and kind of dig deeper into like the source of those responses, rather than just saying like, what do you think of the gods? They're cool. Like, why do you think that, right? We'll get into the why, get some color, some kind of more detail on these heroes' backstories. So does anybody have a question they would like to ask somebody to begin?
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question for Phaedrus.
Ooh.
Okay.
Given that you've traveled with us and you've been in the presence of many signs of the gods now, if you were given the opportunity to become a demigod, to become immortal, would you take it?
That's a good one.
It is, yeah. Gotta become one, destroy them all. No, wait, that's.
Oh no, I said the quiet part out loud.
Oops.
No. Oh, my stars and garters, what have I done? Yeah.
Like all those lawmakers recently that keep saying the quiet part out loud. It's not good. Don't do it.
See, this is also like topical with like whatever the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was too. Anyway, see, David's right. I was stoked. I think if he was truly strong enough to deny it, he would have answered it no already. And I'm trying to think of a good way to like illustrate why he would like entertain the thought or not.
So, Phaedrus is shade touched and has like demonstrated a lot of affinity for speaking with shades. Has Phaedrus maybe like nearly died before, and that is kind of part of his sort of affinity with the dead, and is that maybe why? Like
I
why
think,
he
yeah,
would
because I
want,
mean,
you know.
we're on our way back from this great war, and I'm sure there was probably some time in there where A, he probably came close, and B, a lot of people he was close with did,
Yeah.
right? So like there's
What did it look like?
that might be part of why he would consider it, is like, well, if I had that power, I would actually do the job of watching over people, right? Like,
Right.
it's,
Ooh.
take that.
Ouch. Ouch. I felt that.
Yeah.
As for what it would look like, um, I just kind of imagine him being like in the middle of like a battlefield, like surrounded by the corpse, lying on the ground, half injured, surrounded by the corpses of like other men from his unit, his group. That's like kind of like watching the vultures overhead and starting to land on like Frank over there. Well, Frank doesn't have any eyes anymore. Bye, bird. Right? Like
Something.
yes,
Frankitus.
Franklos.
Franklos.
Franklios. Yeah. Feel obligated to write that one down for later. But
Ferencleis. I don't know. Just. I'll write it down.
Yeah, and then like kind of like just having that moment of like coming that close to death being the thing that makes you kind of like in tune with being able to see like the shades kind of standing there, like not entirely sure what to do at first because they've just been kind of like severed from their bodies kind of scenario.
Yeah.
And maybe having to come to grips with like realizing that like that's what it was and there's nothing you can kind of do. Be like, no, lay back down. That'll like if you just lay down in your body, that fixes it. No, just try. Right? Like somebody could have done something. If I had the power, I could have done something. But,
right. Yeah. Yeah. I think it reminds me of kind of like was it like 300 with the just like there was the big like rain of arrows or whatever. It's just the strewn out like battlefield, just all these like soldiers. It's just one of those very like those bleak battles because like not every battle's a victory, especially when you're not carrying the divine blood of the gods or whatever to just boulder your way through everything or however else, right? But but yeah, very very good. That's I think that's a very interesting addition to Phaedrus. Is this kind of like time of well, this is it, I guess, and then the affinity for ravens also becomes interesting. That watching them feast on your comrades is also a bit.
yeah. Oops.
Yeah. Well, it works. It all fits.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, very cool. All right. Does anyone else have questions? Or I guess Phaedrus. Does Phaedrus have a question?
Phaedrus has a question. Phaedrus' question is, I might ask Xenon. We've been to a lot of places here on this trip trying to get home, and we've seen a lot of things that have been strange and very unusual. And this island that we were just leaving now, probably topping the list. So what do you think of that land that we're now leaving?
Akoros. I think that like Xenon would have had a moment like on the beach of Akoros when when you're coming up out of the sand and you're starting to get more into the rock of the island. There's probably this period where um like the kind of biome of the ocean gets stripped away and you're now in the biome of the island itself, like the humidity of the forest and the smell of whatever is living or rotting or whatever on the island kind of hits you. And I think in that space, kind of in that threshold space, Xenon had a moment where he felt like it was a cursed land, and that whoever's like manor that was on the island marred it in some way and had some sort of like really negative feelings towards the island. I think that once our deeds there were done and the shade were gone, and the sun could breach the clouds for the first time and like lighten the place up a bit. I think maybe in that moment Xenon would have realized that the island had gone through a tremendous change, and that the manor looked a lot less sinister. The forest seemed like it was teeming with more than just rats. Like it had something more to give. And so I think in that kind of like bookending of it, Xenon's discussion with Phaedros would go around the like change of rebirth for the island, and what does that mean for an island like that? Like, what is the future for an island that was once crawling with shade and now is free to be its own again? That much change in so short a moment can't land smoothly. It must be a shock. And so, though it has been freed from a blight, it's still impacted by that shift away towards normalcy. And I think that Xenon is kind of stuck on that, because things of great change are something that Xenon probably circles back to every so often. Of like, how does the island handle that? Because maybe I could take that lesson. That's for me.
Free therapy
Yeah,
from nature.
exactly. So yeah, I think that's where Xenon would go with that, is trying to connect with that and glean some kind of understanding of the universe from that. Yeah.
Excellent. And so remember, after you ask a question to someone, both of you gain a bond with each other.
Oh, cool.
So Phaedros and Macaria gain a bond, and then Phaedros and Xenon gain a bond. Xenon, do you have a question for someone?
Yeah. I am going to talk to Hilarion.
I like the circle.
The circle.
That
Yeah,
we're making
we gotta do the circle here. Yeah. So well, and also I don't know that we have asked this question of Hilarion before. So Hilarion, you I imagine that he has taken up a position towards one of the three oars, because that was a thing he got to do on the other ship, and by golly, he's going to keep doing it on this ship.
Today I'm in charge of port.
Yeah. Perfect. Left-hand side. Good.
Wait a minute. The left-hand side.
Yeah, this side, not the wine.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how they tricked me the first time.
Yes. Yes, you're in charge of this. Oh man, this
Yeah.
bottle is tasty and delicious.
So weird. Like, that's not really how fortifying wine works, but I guess if you put a big enough guy next to it, like it'll do something. I don't really know.
So yeah, Xenon, while Hilarion is working the oar, not the oar, but the
Steering
guide rudder. Yeah.
rudder.
Xenon will come over and has been working on some kind of like, I don't know, rope trick or something like that, to quick tie rope to an anchor or to a stay, and is sitting there practicing flinging that rope, trying to get it to wrap around the stay just right, and all that kind of stuff while he's chatting with Hilarion. And at some point he asks Hilarion, Hilarion, you're a man that I've come to expect as a man without fear. You charge into most situations with zeal and abandon. But surely there is something that you fear.
I want to say Hilarion's answered this one before.
Has he? Oh.
Because I believe the last time you said that it was the gods wouldn't hold up their end of the bargain.
Yeah,
that they
that
made
was
with you.
the.
Oh damn! Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm so sorry. Okay, well
That's
then.
all right.
So I was okay. Cool. I did not write that down.
But maybe there's something else though. I don't, that there can be multiple answers. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Hilarion only fears one thing. He's got the shirt that says one fear.
Yeah.
No.
No, I can. He's got the, I can ask a different question
Okay.
if you'd rather. So then, I think that instead, what Xenon would ask Hilarion is, when the sky finally brightens and we can make it home, what do you hope is waiting for you?
My family. I hope that they are healthy and happy, and they're waiting for me at home. Um, I I hope they are all there, and that no great tragedy has befallen them. Um, and and that we can continue to move on as a family. I think that's the only thing that we can really ask for. You know, I think that is every father's hope and dream is that anytime he is away, that when he returns, he finds his family safe and sound and comforted.
Where you live, is it a bustling metropolis, a village?
No, it's a smaller village, not too far from a larger city, but I need a little room to roam. I was not made for city streets, um, and I need a little bit of freedom, and I think that the my children need a little bit of room to roam as well to learn to fend for themselves.
They need hills to learn to roll down.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Have
right.
to. It's not the same rolling down city streets. It's really not. You've got to have a good out there home, uh, a good hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I think Xenon would continue to talk to you about like what he knows of like returning heroes and how local politicians may use that or rail against that, and just have a protracted conversation with you about that. We don't have to get into it, but that would be something that I think Xenon would, knowing that Hilarion is going back home to a smaller village, and what your focus is the health and safety of your family. And so, okay, well, knowing that about you, here's some thoughts.
yeah, Hilarion would definitely, you know, uh, agree and understand that he has seen such a thing before.
Right.
However, he would also point out that he has a great difficulty in communicating with most politicians because as he has met several of them, his greatest difficulty is that Hilarion is a very direct and to the point and and says what he means. It is not very good at deception.
Right.
And therefore, Larion does not work well with politicians. He also has a tendency to get angry at people and throw them, and problems as such arise.
Yeah, I think then the final piece of advice that Xenon would give is to say, well, when you go to throw a politician, make sure there's one politician you don't throw him into, so that you may ally yourself with one of them.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Cool.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And Hilarion, what question does Hilarion have for whom?
Well, Larion has a question for Xenon.
Okay.
we are demigods. We are going to, assuming we all make it out of this, and assuming all goes well, eventually there will be a further task for us down the line. I assume Mercuria is going to go, I don't know, play fetch with Cerberus for the end of days, something along those lines.
Yeah.
What would where would you like to end up?
Mm.
Where do you see yourself in a millennia?
Yeah, that's a great question. My family is not fond of me. My father is, but his wife and her children are not. I think that I will spend some time wandering, and that I will find signs of Demeter and the other gods on my journey, and maybe they will tell me where I should go. Perhaps I will discover a new land. I don't know. But I don't think it'll be with islands where I'm from.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think for demigods, there's like two things that can really happen for a demigod. Either you do enough good to impress your family, and you ascend to some minor position in the pantheon, or you just kind of like live out your unnaturally long life, and then that's it. You know,
Yep.
you go to Elysium. You get a free ticket to Elysium, basically, for being a good hero. But yeah, I imagine that probably weighs on a lot of divine children, of just like, which one of those is better, and is either of them better, and
Right.
kind of what, you know.
Yeah, I think that Xenon, just as a player, one of the things I would like for Xenon is like he would be somebody who found new land or new islands or some new pass, opening the gates to something new and different. You know, like almost like like the Norse have some heroes that do that. You know, they like went off and found Greenland and shit. You know, that kind of thing is
Then
something
they pulled
that,
the sneaky. They pulled the sneaky with the names.
with the names. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So like definitely, I think that I, even though like we're, you know, in game lore, like in a Mediterranean sea, and there is no new land to discover within this circle, you know, like still I think that Xenon would go and be an explorer.
You guys
on
are
some
an
level.
AC. It's just...
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. So Xenon would probably go out and explore and find something new and different. Yeah.
Excellent. Great. All right. So now everybody gets to remove their pathos. It gets to happen. And that also brings us to the sacrifice. So the sacrifice phase, the hero with the greatest current glory. So where's everybody sitting at with glory?
95.
Now, is that? Yeah, that's the question I was going to ask. That is
I am
with
currently
the
at
checked
2.
boxes.
Two.
Do you have any of
So-
the boxes on the right checked?
Yeah, that includes the boxes on the right.
Oh.
But if you've upgraded your name die, then those all go back to 0 as well.
Yeah, I just upgraded the name die with the last bout, so I have 2.
You have 2, yeah. So that's probably
Nice.
not Hilarion.
Yeah, I have 87.
87,
I don't know. 26.
26,
95.
Makaria? 95. Okay, so Makaria will be leading the sacrifice. The way that you do it, it's a contest of resolve and spirit. I have to roll the 2d6 one for that. Let me pull that up. I don't remember where I put it. Maybe I can just grab one.
What's up?
No, I gotta pull out a character sheet to use.
Oh, okay. Yeah, grab.
We'll just grab Akoros and then add something to it, I guess. That's not okay. That's not what I wanted. I added a token. Now, what is this? I'm getting a token and not the sheet. Curses. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong thing. That's why.
Oh, you're in the art group instead of the pages.
I was. Yeah, I was. Well, I was in the like compendium instead of the like character sheets thing. It's okay. Add sacrifice / leadership. Uncheck all these boxes. There's so many boxes checked, and I would hate to just roll like 8d10 on your sacrifice. That would be not good.
Everybody just has to assist. You know, we just it's like whatever we can do. Heave ho, get this sacrifice made. It's like torrential rain, the fire won't light, but we still got to burn this sacrifice, so we take it under the deck, so we're like risking burning the whole ship.
Right. Okay, let me fix. Oh, gotta get the dice roller up. Boom. Perfect. So the target number is 2.
Oh.
The gods, they're chill today.
Chill.
They just want to hear from you.
Why couldn't we get that on the island? That's
Yes.
Well, on the island you have a +5
strike
pretty much no matter what. So the lowest you can get on an island is like a 6.
Yeah, right.
But here you can get a 2, which is what we've got. So let me refresh myself really quick on how this works. So each hero will roll in a contest of resolve and spirit, which y'all can probably go ahead and do. Right? Just go ahead and get those numbers out there. And then we'll go around and see who does well, who doesn't do so well. And then we'll mark our new divine favors, what have you. But who is okay? So Makaria is leading the sacrifice. So who are you leading a sacrifice in honor to?
I think
okay, Phaedrus.
Jeez, I think I'm leading the overall sacrifice to Poseidon to guide us through forward through our journey, more like, broadly to Poseidon.
Okay, excellent. So let's start. Everyone prevailed, so that's good.
Very difficult not to prevail.
Yeah.
It is actually impossible not to prevail. Because I think if you tie, you still prevail. So,
oh yeah, that's right. This was a gimme. This was a
it was a gimme. It was a free.
Yeah.
So to whom does Hilarion give a sacrifice, and what does Hilarion sacrifice?
So who was it that? Because Bacaria lets she chose.
She chose Poseidon for the main one, but you still get divine favor with whoever you wish. It's just kind of like everyone is going to give something to Poseidon, but that doesn't necessarily mean that generates divine favor. That's just like you can still be like, okay, to Poseidon, but also here are the gods I'm beseeching for divine favor kind of deal. I don't know if that's exactly rules as written, but that's how we've been kind of doing it so far. So,
I think he's gonna go with because of his sacrifice, he will include Hera, and so it will be to Poseidon and Hera, and Hilarion will pull out the old club that he had been using, the war club that he used up until this point, and he will look at it fondly, gently pet it. So this club has been with me for a long time. It was the reward of one of my first challenges. And I have struck mighty blows with this hammer, with this club. And this club has struck me with perhaps the mightiest blow that I have ever received. So long ago, not long after I was married, before the birth of my first child, I was called on to go and help settle a dispute. And it was there were many issues, but at the crux of it was a point of infidelity. And the statement was made that no man could have resisted such charms. And so the man should not be considered, as the charms were otherworldly, he should not be held accountable if no man could. And in my youth and boastfulness, I disagreed and said that a man must hold true to his word and remain faithful to his wife. And in speaking those words, I kind of put myself out there and ended up being required by the local priest of Hera to prove those words. And so I was sent to where the gentleman had dallied with a nymph and was required to spend the evening there and to maintain my marital bonds and not stray. And she was a very lovely nymph. It was, the first hour was not so difficult, but it grew more and more difficult as time went on. I was young and was running out of stories to keep her entertained and distracted. It was quite difficult. And the more that I talked, the thirstier I became and drank more of the spring that she was a nymph of. And the water was clear and sweet and a bit intoxicating. And as dawn neared, I felt my resolve waver. And I thought that I might fail in a challenge to the gods, a challenge to Hera. And so, with dawn coming, I am feeling my strength fail. I reached out for support, and I found this giant club, a cast-off tree branch, and I grabbed it. And with all the strength that I had and all the willpower left in me, as hard as I could, I bashed myself in the stones and did not think further of straying. Never before have I faced such pain or hardship or difficulty. No blow have I received as mortal as that one. But I think it is a fitting sacrifice to the gods if it will get us home soon. And he will gently lay the club onto the fire.
And it is quickly and supernaturally consumed by the flames, and you hear, sounds of crashing waves and rolling thunder, and also a bit of laughter. As the gods have received your sacrifice, understanding what it means, and also, the comedy of life. And yeah, your sacrifice is well received by the gods. You can mark 2 points of divine favor, whomever you choose. It sounds like Poseidon and Hera. But yeah, excellent. So next we have Macaria.
Well, I think Makaria had been thinking upon her sacrifice and then got very enthralled with Hilarion's story. So when it was time for iron-minded Makaria to make her choice, she came with her normal offerings that she gives to Demeter. Don't drop your phone. And
I dropped my nail clippers.
her and of to Athena, and she offers these standard offerings and apologizes. I may have a story as wonderful as Hilarion's, but I have surely forgotten it after that marvelous retelling. So I pray that you take this offering, but also enjoyed my shipmates uh, telling of his tale.
I'm guessing that like the ships, like the oarmen and the crew of the ship, like groaned collectively.
Yeah,
There was a moment where every male member of the crew winced at once.
Yeah.
I just knew when you said it had dealt the strongest blow you had ever received. In my mind, I was like, it's got to be he hit himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's no other way Hilarion would spin it other than that he had hit himself, and that was the hardest he'd ever been hit.
Yep.
Oh.
Because he is the one that can hurt himself.
Right.
So bad. Yeah.
It is the blows that we give ourselves. The
That's
damage
right.
we do ourselves is far more than those that we do to others. And
That's
that is common knowledge. No knife is so sharp as the one you wield yourself. Or
Ethan,
club so heavy.
Is it one glory or two?
One for everybody except
Okay.
for Phaedrus, who gets 2.
Okay, I was just checking.
It's a very, very low glory contest here, but yeah, Makaria, your sacrifices are received without much fanfare, but with the knowledge that they have been well received by the gods, and and you
I got
will have
nothing.
their aid.
An empty well over here. I got nothing.
You get the sense as you like give these offerings and kind of make your apologies, like you get the sense of just like, yeah, that's fair. Honestly, it's like, that's fair,
right?
But yes, excellent. So next up we have Xenon.
Yeah, Xenon steps forward and he has a little leather satchel, little pouch. And he, it's got like this leather strap binding, and he, undoes it and he opens it up, and inside is a very sharp blade, small blade, and like a leather belt you'd use to sharpen a blade to a fine edge, and some oils, and he takes the oils, puts them in like a rag or something that would burn, not just in their like rough glass container, and he kind of looks at the fire as it burns, and says to it, Demeter, long ago I began shaving my hair for you. The sacrifice is to you, as this kit has been in servitude to you for quite some time. Hephaestus, you've changed me in ways that I don't fully understand yet, but you have made my hair white in a way that I've not seen before, and I take that to mean you intend for me to display that. So, in your collective wishes, I am no longer going to shave my head, and I will don the hair that has been provided to me by the gods. And he casts the shaving kit into the fire, and the oils bloom in this like kind of purple flame, and the knife, sits there and melts slowly in time, kind of thing.
Yeah, and the flames, they kind of like brighten as if bellows have been sort of blown into them, and then sort of as the last like remnant of the knife kind of melts into the coals, you hear the clang of a hammer on an anvil in the distance. In recognition and like sort of respect of just like, yes, like, not because I think for many of the gods, the ways that mortals interpret their actions are often it's kind of like in D&D when you make a puzzle and then your players come up with a solution that's like way better than the one you made. And so you're just like, it works.
Yeah.
So the gods are like, okay, awesome. Love that. That works. Sick. Like, and so you get the gesture is more important,
right?
Like, is the most important, I think, and that's kind of what Hephaestus is trying to communicate to you with this sort of affirmation. Perfect. Yeah, and that leaves us with Phaedrus. To whom does Phaedrus give sacrifice?
Phaedrus will come forth with a large, like I don't know if it's leather or maybe canvas, like bundle that is clearly soaking through with blood from somewhere on the inside. And he will come out and say, as we all saw on Akoros when the clouds started to break, there started to be light. Akoros is clearly a place to be known for one animal, and that is the goat. So he will approach the brazier with this bag, like dripping as he's crossing the deck. He was like, I don't know how many of you have ever traveled to Sparta before, but among the I'm not going to get this right, Lacedaemonians.
That's pretty good.
The name for people of Sparta. That's
it's pretty good.
That they refer to Hera as Agophagos, the goat eater. So sets the bag down and opens it up, and it's the head of a goat that they are grilling in the back of the boat somewhere. And he will toss it into the brazier and let it char there. Let us hope that this draws her attention to us and that she grants us the gift of her cunning. Move forward.
Yeah.
Did you just inside joke 2 of our old games?
Yes.
I only meant to do 1.
Yeah.
But I feel bad about the second.
We do have a goat that we're not allowed to eat in any game.
Yeah, in any game.
Yeah.
And you hear a gentle bleating on the wind of a goat in the distance, and the gentle smells of a curry simmering in another land. But your sacrifice is received. Perhaps
the like crazy black goats that has like the double horn situation.
Oh yeah, any goat that had been surviving on Akoros.
Goats are crazy.
Yeah. Any goat that had been surviving on Akoros during that particular time is definitely not a normal goat.
Yeah. There's like a special name for the feral goats that have been like on an island for too long by themselves. Like they're really ornery. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, it's got to be. I mean, for Phaedrus to have caught it and not gotten gored, it's probably a feat in and of itself.
For sure. So Phaedrus, you get two divine favor like everyone else, but you also earn 1 bond with a deity. One of those to whom you sacrificed, depending on.
I was really just shooting for Hera this time.
Okay, yeah. So you have a bond with Hera as well as you've provided her favorite food, according to the Spartans. I guess they were right.
Yeah.
The dice said they were right, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I didn't expect a meal from way over there. Okay.
Sweet.
Normally it's the Spartans who feed me. This is
Someone's been paying attention. We'd love to see.
Hey, Wikipedia said that.
Yes.
Wikipedia said. Absolutely. Okay,
There's
so
not a Wikipedia god in here, but I feel like there should be.
Harry's getting a lot of love tonight.
Yeah,
getting a lot
yeah.
of
Here's
love.
got it. We are
Wikipedia. That's
yeah
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
No, that's your crew member that just knows everything. If anybody
Yes.
has a question, they're just like, Wikipedia.
Yes.
What color is the flame of magnesium?
Yeah.
You're like,
writing it down.
Sure
know.
white, my lord.
The two NPCs that cannot be killed: the
Wikipedia.
Bard and Wikipedia.
Yep.
Indeed. But
Maybe
yeah,
Wikipedia is the bard.
could be.
No,
Could be.
Giagos is the bard.
No, Giagos
Giagos
is
is
the
the
Bard.
Bard.
That's true.
There are many bards. Okay, so we have two sort of things left to do tonight already. It's not been very long. But I think now would be the good time to take the break.
Okay.
We'll push that runtime a little further out. Maybe make it to 10 o'clock. Maybe. No. But yeah, we can go ahead and take our break and refill our drinks and all that kind of thing. Be ready for the leadership contest.
Ooh, yes.
And then be ready to gaze at the vaults of heaven and figure out kind of what you all have earned, and then I think I'll have made a decision about what the next island is by then, and I can give you guys a little sneak peek
That'll be interesting. That'll be great.
before we take a 2-week break from this game.
That's right. So yeah, folks, we'll be back in 10 minutes. So 20 past the hour, wherever it is you live, unless you're in one of those funky places. At which point, we don't speak of you.
Can't
Sorry.
help you.
Yeah.
At some point, we need to actually look up the list of those funky places.
It's like a place
There's like
over.
2.
Yeah, it's like there's
Yeah,
like one
there's like-
in like Southeast Asia, like kind
Is
of
one in
near
like
India, I
that
think.
like former Soviet Union?
Oh yeah.
area?
It's got. There's got to be one in the former
Caucasus,
Soviet.
in the Caucasus region. There's one. I think
Sure.
there's one in just the middle of the ocean. But I might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Time zones are weird.
Yeah.
The
So
Earth is round.
That's wild,
So
yo.
the sun
That's our
is-
hot take. Our hot take is Earth is round, yo. Come
Earth
at me.
is round. It's so weird.
I'm ready for
How
this
it
fight.
does
Wait.
that.
Wait. While most time zones differ from coordinated universal time by a number of full hours, there are also a few time zones with both 30-minute and 45-minute offsets.
No, that's not
No.
allowed. You're not allowed to do that. Just go with another 15. Just go
I know
another
what we're going to
15
be
and
talking
take
about
a
on the
hit.
breakdown. All right.
All right.
Not a-
Well, we'll come back.
Whatever
much
place
more
that
informed.
is, just stop watching this channel. We don't even want your business. All right.
No, we just lost half. Our
Wow.
viewer count just dropped by 10.
Yeah.
I can't see how many viewers we have. That's probably way too many.
That'd be awesome if it was like a huge portion of our thing was coming from the like belly of the Ukraine where it's 45 minutes
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a bunch of these are actually like Australia.
Oh, okay. Well, whoops. I
But
like
one of these
Australia.
New
is St.
Zealand.
John's. Like off of Canada and the United States.
Weird. Well, we'll come back much more informed on this in about 2
Yes.
minutes. Whatever time that is for you, if you live in a normal time zone or in one of these hinterlands and liminal spaces in our universe,
Where the ley lines meet.
where the ley lines meet and time is slightly different.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back in 10, folks.
And here we are.
We've arrived. We've returned to the internet.
I gave you a number that time.
Yes.
I said the number 5 and then stopped counting.
See, that's why I don't give a number anymore. Right? We're live. It's all good.
Right. We're live now.
Let's
We're
let's
just
do
there.
this thing, folks.
Let's
You
do
know
this
who
thing.
we are. You know what we're about. We just did a bunch of sacrifices to some gods, and worked out.
It's awesome.
I read the rules a little bit closer, and I realized that I've been really like doing a lot of offerings that have nothing to do with blood.
They don't have to.
Okay.
The section that says blood offerings is specifically like, if that's not something you guys want to do at the table, you don't have to. Like, that's all the blood offering section is about. Is like, maybe that's not cool with everybody.
Yep. All right. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. And it's not that I'm against animal sacrifice in a role playing game. I just wasn't thinking of doing it. I was like, oh yeah, let's get rid of this object. Let's get rid of that object.
Well, objects are often more meaningful than random livestock.
It's true.
So, it makes sense.
And we just, a lot of the times, the places that we're coming from don't really have a whole lot. Like the one island had nothing on it but like little robotic spiders that
Right.
I think.
I sacrificed to you this robotic spider, which surely killed many animals.
Surely killed many.
I mean, we're saying that, animals aren't, the best option to sacrifice unless it's like the chosen animal of 3 different campaigns.
Yes.
Um,
And a god.
Yeah.
Relevant in this instance.
Yeah, it
in
was
my
pretty solid.
defense, like
Pretty
specifically
solid.
call out in like,
No, that's what made me think of it. I was like, oh man, sacrificing a goat. Of course we. And then I looked at the things like, oh yeah, blood sacrifices, of course. And then yeah, all right, cool. I'm glad we could break this one down.
Excellent. So that brings us to our leadership contest. Phaedros is on a streak of 2. And they've both gone pretty well, I think. So
my boat.
yeah, just lost a boat, right? Yeah, okay. That's fair. We did lose a boat. It's all good, but you didn't lose 2 boats.
That's right.
I mean, we weren't going to point any fingers, and nobody's going to say it out loud.
But okay. But so what's happening now? What issue? What challenge has arisen that is worthy of a leadership contest? That the crew needs to be reconvinced, as they often do, that somebody needs to be in charge of heroics. They know who's in charge of the ship. Is what it is. But somebody's got to be in charge of heroics. And they feel democratically empowered to aid in that. Which is probably not true, but they feel that way, and they really enjoy these.
We like to let them think that.
Yeah.
That's usually how naval vessels operate. Right? It's
Yeah.
like, we're here as part of the Navy, and who votes that want to do that?
Yes.
You know what it was? It was like it was a thing. Like they were like, we don't have enough say in how the ship's going to run. And Phaedros was like, well, you're not going to. I'm the captain. That's how that's going to be. You know what? You guys want to figure out who's in charge of something? You can find out. You guys decide who's in charge of the demigods.
It's like look, the host decides what the theme of the party is, but the party goers decide who's the DJ of the playlist for the night. Right?
Yeah.
So who's in charge of this party?
And the partygoers also collectively decide how to execute that theme,
Mhm.
whether the host likes it or not.
That's right. That's fair. That's totally true.
Sometimes your friend's like, ooh, I'm going to have a fancy dress party. And so everybody wears fancy dresses. Everybody.
Yeah.
Look, my shoulders look nice, okay?
Yeah.
Don't have to keep bringing it up.
Now I just have this image of Hilarion with like a single strap,
Yes.
I mean,
right.
That's
Like,
not that's probably not much
asymmetrical, big slit
Mhm.
up the leg.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
probably not much different than what Hilarion normally wears, except for the fabric and the color. Because like tunics and togas are like a thing. Probably not toga. I think togas were the Roman thing, but
I mean, the
Tunic.
He's
pumps
big
are
on
different,
sequins.
so.
Yeah.
Sequins are always there. But yes. So what is our small bit of strife that needs to be handled that will convince the crew who should be who they think should be in charge on the next island, and all these things.
I just to put the idea out there in the public, we could of course do something else. Is I think that it'd be fun if the ship itself had some kind of like leak or malady or something that was like harming the ship, and we had to collectively work as glorious heroes do to solve this rather mundane problem. But we could do something else. That was just an idea that leapt to mind.
Is everyone
before
down
we
with an unfortunately sinking ship?
This is me saying another idea could be good, because if we all fail and suffer, then there might not be a ship for us. I
That's
thought, oh, this
fair.
will be fun, but then on reflection, I was like, this does put the ship on the line.
Once again.
So since we've been making so much fun about time zones, and we have some sort of device on ship that helps us with time, given the weirdness of all of this. But for this challenge, the sailors wish to see how well we can tell the time, even though the stars are covered. So taking from different cues and our godly resources, how close to the actual time we can determine.
Yeah, one of the Lost has like a literal like swatch because of the weird technology on that. I like has a timepiece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of spring-powered counting device that tells him how many seconds it's been since the last time he wound it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's wild. I think that'd be fun and interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And doesn't result in the ship sinking. It just results in everybody thinking you don't know what time it is, which nobody
It's
knows what
okay
time it
though,
is.
because no one really
It's
does. Yeah.
We don't know this, but at some point in time, Pedro's going to take Xenon aside to discuss with him why he's coming up with ideas that involve holes in ships.
There's the player David coming up with the idea, not Xenon. Xenon wasn't like, I got our challenge, and like goes down below with a drill, a hand
Punches
drill.
holes in.
Like some huge like auger, like you would use to dig holes. Just like
Yes.
through the bottom of the back.
I think this is a contest of craft and reason for this particular one. I just think that's what it is. You're trying to divine the time, which may involve resolve in spirit, but just mostly like your ability to look and reach out to the natural world and kind of figure things out. So we'll do craft and reason for this one. The target, how is that? I guess that
How
is
did that
possible.
happen?
The target number's 1, so I only keep 1 die when I roll things.
Okay.
Oh.
I keep 1.
Okay.
And the modifier for a leadership contest is 0. So I got 1 plus 0.
Okay.
equals 1.
Okay.
All right.
So-
Cool. So there was no risk of the ship sinking. Come on.
Well, no, if I had done that, it'd have been like an 8 somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what it would have done if it was real.
Wait, have I been rolling a D8 on this the whole time? Yeah. Okay, whatever. Same difference.
What should you have been rolling?
2d6. But you
Okay.
still only keep 1 die. So I mean, if anything, I made it a little harder, and we still rolled very low, so it's all good.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Hot damn, I prevailed on 2 dice.
Sweet.
Wow!
I am shocked and appalled.
Wow!
Oh no!
Wow!
Not again. Not
Not
again.
again. We always roll off.
What about? Do we have Fedro?
We don't have Phaedrus yet. Just Hilarion and Xenon are in sync. Oh wait.
All right, y'all gotta roll
Wait.
off now because you're.
Do
No,
we-
you do
tied for
have to
best.
roll.
Oh my god. All right. All right. We're rolling our name dice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There you go, Hilarion. You're in charge.
You're in charge.
I am.
Oh man.
Oh,
Hilarion
okay. This is gonna be
in
fun.
charge
This
of
next
our
island's gonna be really fun now
and
that I know
our
which one it is.
You can't pick the island based off of the fact.
No, I'd already picked the island.
Okay.
But now that the
But
two
now
have
that
come
I know-
together,
now the two have come together, it's going to be a very interesting thing.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I just
very
totally
good.
see Ethan as like, I got this one bookmarked for Hilarion.
Yes.
No, there's definitely a better island that I could give for Hilarion in charge, but I'm not going to. So Phaedrus, you are able to divine the time. How does Phaedrus do this?
Oh, well, the ship is aimed due west. That means the mast is straight up and down, and you can see the sunlight where it's casting the mast on the deck. And you're like, oh, it's this far off to the side, and the shadow is this tall in relation to the height of it. And like, yeah, it's 125.
My buddy Pythagoras told me about this one.
Yeah.
It was like there's a moment of like unfurling a goat skin, taking as a charcoal and doing some math.
Yeah.
Like,
Drawing a triangle on the deck.
this and that. And so it's the beginning of second shift, and it's this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the member of the Lost with the mechanical arm kind of looks down at like the ticking part of it that sort of keeps track of time, and he gives a little thumbs up, and the crew kind of golf claps. They're like, yeah, that was good. He did it. That was sweet, awesome.
It wasn't exciting, but it got accomplished.
It wasn't exciting, but it did what. Yeah, exactly. And so Makaria.
Makaria does a bit more like throwing the bones, as you will, like kind of that sort of thing, or interpreting the bones being thrown. And
we're gonna say that this is being done, like you all are being like challenged to this at separate times. Otherwise, like
right.
It's 125. I found it was 125.
I also said that.
Yeah,
it's 126 according to me. It's like, well, you went last.
So it's been some time. It's been several hours, an indeterminate amount of time, of course. But yeah.
So she just reads the signs of what is in front of her and gives the accurate time for the moment.
Yeah, and I think the crew's like looking at what you're doing, because you're like throwing these bones and like looking at like omens and things like that, and you see like birds kind of fly by at one point, and you're like, well, it must be getting into the evening time, and you give like something probably between like 4 and 5 ish, and you know the crew member with the timepiece kind of looks at his arm and gives another one of these, and the crew's just kind of like kind of like that was a kind of impressive. I don't know how that works. That was not a mundane method. I don't understand it. That's interesting.
Magic.
Phaedrus did math. I understand math. That is yes, but this is all right. So next is Xenon. How does Xenon tell time?
Yeah, shadow-wise, far-sighted Xenon is a student of the people. And the thing about people is we all have our kind of daily cycles and routines. And a ship of people is a symphony of these routines working harmoniously in some cases and at odds or in clashes in others. And Xenon has noted throughout the days that that the privy of the ship has cycles where it is over needed. And we're at such a cycle. It's like, well, you see, since these three are waiting in line for the privy, and presumably, what one of our named NPCs that we just made up today? What was his name?
Wikipedion?
Wikipedion and Frankios.
Yeah, we see Frankios in the line. I'm going to presume that Wikipedion bested everybody today. So we are clearly at the around 5:15.
Yeah, and everybody kind of looks. They look at you, and then they kind of look at each other, and they kind of think for a minute, and they're just kind of like, okay, but they don't. they seem a bit uncomfortable, perhaps,
Right.
with how much knowledge you have about their routines and their daily lives, because it's that point where you realize that like all of those like anxieties you have within you, like are people paying attention to me while I do these random things I do throughout the day, that all of those are true. And someone is watching.
When it comes to telling time, that was the best I could come up with when math was taken away from me as the answer. I was like, well.
but yeah, they're a little uncomfortable, but they respect it, and they're impressed by your like perceptiveness.
Oh, good.
Because they know that they've never seen you watching them in this way. That these are just things that you have gleaned
Right.
from being on the ship, and that's very impressive to them. But then they look to Hilarion some hours later. And they seem a bit wary, perhaps. But how does Hilarion tell the time and meet this challenge?
The thing is that I'm certain that they don't like announce we're going to do the challenge now, and what we're going to do is ask you all the time. No, this is all done. They have their little secret cabal of shit people that are like, okay, this is the challenge. This is what we've decided. All right, we're gonna hit them up individually, see what we come up with.
Yep.
And it's like, and Hilarion is working at his rudder like he's supposed to. You know, right now he's on starboard, and he's just working at it, and one of them comes up and asks, the timer. They probably have a story. The timer's off. We want to check it. What time is it? And Hilarion looks at them for a moment, and then says, "It's an hour and 17 minutes to dinner."
Yep. And I think the crew that's gathered here, they look at you like almost stunned, because you did not you took hardly any time to divine this. And the timekeeper, he checks his timepiece, and he looks at you and he says, "It is." And just like, it is, and they're just like, I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, and like based on the way, because the thing that the crew also appreciates about this is that you reminded them that dinner was soon, and that's what really won them over. That was the thing. And so yeah, they kind of give a cheer for Hilarion, the harbinger of dinner at this point. And
That's
the new title.
There it is.
There it is.
And the one that's your next epithet, harbinger of dinner.
Yes.
How that will help in contests, I'm not sure.
Oh, he'll find a way.
I don't know. I was
Find
gonna
a
go
way.
with like Defender of the Divine or something like that, or the Bias, but now maybe Harbinger of Dinner.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, and so Hilarion has been entrusted with, the burden of leadership for the next island that you all arrive at.
We're screwed.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah,
And
plenty
so-
of mouse
Using
stuff.
lots of bonds.
You don't have to sound so excited about that.
I mean, we'll see. This one, the next one I picked is interesting. We'll get there in a second. The thing that we have to do now is we have to go over the Vault of Heaven. And so once again, it was an hour until dinner, or hour and 15 until dinner, exactly.
Well, wait, I got a question.
Mm.
We all won that, or I won that one, so I got the one glory.
You did get well, actually, everybody gets one glory
Because
you round up. Because you round up.
Okay.
So everyone gets one glory. I'm sure that is extremely helpful for all of your character advancement needs. But yeah, so now once again, after dinner is had, the crew is still, they knew then, and so anticipation just rocked the ship for the entire time it was being prepared until it was time for dinner, and everyone cheers as it arrives. An hour and 15 minutes passed. And so after dinner, once again, the stars open before you, and you see the Vault of Heaven. And so we have to take into account sort of what you all did on the last island. So I'm going to open up the Signs of the Gods. and we can kind of figure out sort of what they thought about what you did. So the first sign that we received was from Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft. Her sign was darkness, every light snuffed out, every century blinded. And in this case, I believe you all have earned 1 star with Hecate. Because the light here, at least in me as the strife player who determines what the will of the gods is, you know. And then you interpret that, and then we compare notes, and then you just find out.
How far off we were.
I think that the darkness that she wanted was the sort of snuffing out of the knowledge that Erastos held, and his ability to create these gates into the underworld and to bring shades and bind shades. That was the light of knowledge and witchcraft that she did not want to be known, because it, as you all saw on the island, far too dangerous.
That's awesome, because I read that a completely different way, and I was worried.
Yeah.
I thought maybe she wanted, because she was of witchcraft, that she was on the side of the sorcerer for whatever reason, and wanted us to destroy the chick with the torch.
Yeah. I think also you all left the island literally dark. Every light extinguished. There's no one there, and it can be forgotten again. You know, this cursed isle, essentially. This Isle of the Dead can once again be forgotten until someone else finds it. And so yeah, I think that is one star earned. The second sign you all received was from Hermes, the god of travel. His sign being a shining beacon in the distance, guiding the lost back home. You certainly did that. As you were able to guide all of the shades back to the underworld. The thing I have to now look at is how many stars I can actually give you, because I believe you've earned 2, but there's only 1 star left on the constellation. Let me see if there's a thing here in this.
Oh, if there's like if they overdo it on one, do they get something else somewhere else or some other?
Well,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, that's
if
what I'm trying to
we
think.
go the other way, then they hinder us in one place. So will they maybe?
So what happens? You have earned 2 stars with Hermes. So you get 2 divine favor with Hermes. You also get a bond with Hermes for completing his constellation. And now you all hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13. So you also gained another boon this time. So you should have your 4th boon from stars, because you've gained, a multiple of 3 basically.
Ethan,
yes.
did we get anything with Hecate?
You got 1 divine favor with her for the 1 star that you gained with her. Yep. I think additionally, the wrath of Hephaestus has subsided. He has extended the olive branch, knowing the price of a god's wrath in a very personal way. I think Hephaestus would probably be one of the more empathetic gods of the pantheon, because he's like, yeah, my mom sucks, I get it, she literally threw me off a mountain because I was ugly. It's not cool, Mom, but here we are. Yeah. So, and I think also Artemis's wrath subsides. She's not been invoked. She's not really been called upon. I think she just kind of has lost interest for the time being. She's watching your journey still, but not in a way that she wants to meddle in it. So, you all have now completed 2 constellations. You have 2 further constellations that are 1 star from being completed, and then 3 constellations that are 2 stars for being completed. So depending on what signs you get for these next 2 islands, you may. Actually, I have to double check the island I want to do and make sure that it has.
There also a thing where I was based on the number of stars we had total.
Yeah, so you guys are up to 13 stars total, which means you should have gained 4 boons now. So 1 new one, because you went from 11 to 13 today. Or, yeah, because the extra one just gives you Divine Favor. It doesn't count towards your total stars.
Okay.
So, like, you guys gained 3 today, but only 2 of them count because Hermes' constellation only had 1 more. But that should be like your 4th boon from constellations. But yeah, so that should be done.
So just so I'm making sure my sheet is right, we get boons from the fate track.
The fate track that has dots in it.
Yep.
And then every 3 stars you get on the Vault of Heaven. So you should have 4 plus however many you've gotten on the fate track.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, and I don't think there's another way. Yeah, that's the only 2 ways to get boons.
Okay.
You decide which one to take.
All right.
And we have to fill up the top half before we can start the bottom half. And then the bottom half have to be in order.
So. Let me double check on this. Look at the sheet. Yes. Well, I don't think those have to be in order. I think you just the line separates them. So
Okay.
So yeah, cool. And so yeah, with that, once again the Path of Stardust forms, and you all are led on to your next destination. So let's see here. I want to give you all a little preview here. Okay. I know what to do. You all, or we all, your characters see nothing. They don't get previews, but we, the audience, get one. We see an enormous hall. It is much larger than what would be appropriate for a human. And the thing that catches the eye are the tapestries that hang along the walls of this hall. And each one is intricately woven and depicts different scenes, different deeds, some great, some terrible, and some familiar. We see a tapestry that shows a hero darting through these winding tunnels towards a palace where snake-headed priests lie in wait. We see an enormous drill with heroes standing atop it, battling this strange creature of machine and soul. And we also see a tapestry that looks new, being hung by large hands, that shows a manor atop a hill with a blue flame shining through the windows, and 4 heroes beginning their trek up. And I think after panning past that tapestry, it sort of pans to like darkness, and that's our preview. Very, very oblique, but it'll make a lot of sense next week. It's gonna be fun. But
oh man, and we're gonna pick that up in
not next week.
3 weeks.
In 3 weeks, yeah. 3
Yeah.
weeks. So that'll be
Okay.
what? Let me look at my calendar. May 1st. Oh, well, that's not gonna work, is it?
That's not gonna work because that's May Day.
Okay, May 8th then. In 3 weeks.
May 8th. Sorry,
4
Ethan.
weeks. That's all good.
You wanted to take 2 weeks off. You have to take 3
I
weeks
get
off.
3 weeks. I can find something to do that weekend. It's all good.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
Find something to do that weekend, like watch a charity stream.
Watch
There
a
it is.
charity stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have for you all today. As next time, not next week, almost did it again, we will be traveling to the Isle of Cordia.
Cordia. Okay.
Which is
That sounds
home
cool.
to some very interesting figures and has a very interesting reward. Yeah. And that'll be like our penultimate island, probably.
Awesome. Well, Ethan, thanks a ton for running, man.
This is a very
Always.
good game. I like running.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Everybody at home, thanks a ton for watching and tuning in. We are, as said, going to take a few weeks off of this game while we do some one-shots on Saturdays, and then we have our charity stream on the 1st, May 1st for May Day, big traveler event. Be sure to come back here on Friday when we're going to be doing our talk of world building with Legend Keeper. This is general world building discussion about building any kind of world you might for a game or a book or what have you. But we have the creators of Legend Keeper on with us and their wonderful app that helps us manage this game and all the other games that we play here. And we've hooked all of our friends onto it, as far as I can tell. They're pretty much everybody we know is into this at this point. So yeah, I would like to raid with our audience here. Let's go. I've got a crew 20 sides to every story. They're playing some D&D right now. They've got kind of a cool map situation up and running. It looks like they're doing World 20. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it's Foundry. But yeah, we're going to head over there and check and see what these guys are up to for the evening. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. You're all awesome and wonderful. As always, have fun and play well.
May all your rolls be crits.